Yo, what's going on, guys? We're back again onto my YouTube channel. It's your boy Lesiba Mutupi, and I've been in this trading world for close to 3 years, and it's actually 3 years to be specific. And one thing that I'm going to be doing today is that I'm going to be showing you guys how to literally like manage trades in a much more proper manner. So it's actually one trade that we took during the previous week, and now I'm sharing it with you guys how we were able to actually manage it to in order for us to go from, instead of holding profits, to going back into negatives. Now we're focusing more on to holding profits. So if it does go against us, we can still go out with a few profits, or not only that, but we can still at least lose a specific amount instead of losing the whole 1%, even though we're able to see that this trade has a chance of going against us. So please do just make sure that you sit down. Please do just make sure that you do take notes, because this is actually going to be one of the most valuable lessons. I make sure that I share with you one of the most valuable lessons that I keep on learning. I'm also on my journey, so I keep on learning as time goes on, and then I share by giving back to you guys in a much more on YouTube, because it doesn't really cost me that much. Only the thing that it takes is like literally time, but yeah, it doesn't really cost that much, so I don't really mind doing all of that. At the same time, if you do want to see a lot of content, a lot of videos from me, make sure to hit those subscribe buttons. I like the fact that we are coming well. I remember mentioning my goal that I want us to actually be on over 100,000 subscribers at the end of the year, and I can see that we are close to, not even close, I won't say close to as like that, but already in my mind I can see it happening. But we are like growing, we are growing fast. So just make sure to hit the subscribe button if you do like this content that I'm sharing. So let us jump into it. So we're going to be seeing NZD JPY, and before we also jump into it, I want to mention to you guys that, remember, I do have a free course, no charge. All you have to do is just hit the link, put down your email, and you will get the login details, and you get instant access to the course, and also the free Telegram group, which is down in the description box. Be a part of our community. So let us jump into it without wasting any more time. Do exactly what it is that I promised you. I'm going to be showing you guys how it is that you can manage a trade. So I'm not going to go into full details, like super deep into it, because this is actually one of the lessons that can take a few hours, and also it will need some sort of a mentorship behind it, just so you'd be able to understand fully. Because it's different for a person to show you and say this, but it's actually much more different for you to apply these things and stick to them consistently. So I'm going to play my part, so you also can try and can play your part on your side, just to be able to understand the management side. And obviously this is a bit more advanced. For beginners, it's going to be a bit more difficult to catch on, a bit quick, but I'll try to be a bit more simple so you can get it. But at the end of the day, this is all something that we can all get. As long as one person was able to get it, we all can get. So let's take a look at this beautiful trade that we took during the weakness. So this is NZD-JPY, and this is the trade that we are currently in now. Okay, so we took it, I think it was like Thursday or something. Let me see. Yeah, on the 3rd of April, I think it was like Thursday. So obviously you can simply see that here we've got this beautiful chart structure here. Obviously impulsive move, deep correction to the downside, to the upside. Obviously it has to break to the downside if it's a correction to the upside. So after that has happened, let me just focus on this whole section. After that has happened, you can simply see that we've got this beautiful impulse and then another impulse. So basically this is just one deep correction. So the impulse, deeper correction, first touch, second touch, third touch, and then impulsive move, then a correction, and then another impulse to the downside. So you can see what is actually pushing structure here, impulses and corrections. And understanding this, I was able to also spot that, okay, no, since this is a deep, this is an impulsive move to the downside, this is also a correction on which, now this correction, let me just show you guys what it is. We are actually targeting this, since this actually broke out, but that can also change along the way. We're actually targeting that this is actually where we would like to take profits, our overall profits, but that can change. But I'll show you guys how it can actually change. This is what actually playing around with the management, you are allowed to actually come up with different ideas and different brainstorms. So far how I took this trade, can simply see our first touch here, second touch, third touch. After these two engulfing candles, I waited for this beautiful correction. It presented itself, then it started going down. So obviously I took a sell. My stop loss was like super minimum, like 22 pip stop loss. Then we shot all the way to the downside. Here we're holding like close to, can you just see, already with just like two candles, we were like holding 1.6 percentages, and then obviously at the end take 1.6 percentages. But now because of how the market reacted, because like I actually wanted market to push a bit more to the upside, then when it does continue going downwards, I can move my stops into a much more better manner, into break even. So this actually did happen. It shot upwards, then it came back down. So now as you can see, we are in a few profits, but I've got two types of management. So there's two ways whereby I can manage these trades. So you can simply see that here I say move stop loss to 63782, which is this level here. This is where I'm looking to put my stop loss at. So imagine I was risking 1% of my account here. So now I'm gonna move this 1% to here. So basically I'm gonna risk like 0.20% of my account, which is like super small. I won't even feel it. So there's actually one trade that I actually wanted to show you guys when you speak about management, and I've got two types of ways that I'm managing this. Obviously with this ray line here that I just said move stop loss to here, and also with this candlestick management line. As you can see, there's a trend line to the downside. This is actually managing me. So it's my first touch, second touch. Here we are now at the third touch. So if it does break out of here impulsively, obviously that will lead me to just closing this trade a bit quicker. I'll just have to close it at break even or with just that small profit. But obviously if it doesn't break and maybe it does continue to go, it plays around somewhere here, I'll just leave it and possibly just continue going to the downside. There's also a scenario that's more likely to happen, can happen, but the market is not really something that you say should or shouldn't. Just have to take a message from it when it does happen. So let me just show you guys the thought process behind me managing this way. Obviously there's always something that encourages us to see the things the way that we do. Okay, charts are going to be a bit messy because I've got a lot of trends in here, but as you can see, I'm actually looking at this whole beautiful move. Remember, when you analyze, you need to come up with different scenarios. Now you have to see all types of scenarios. Okay, while seeing this, I'm actually looking at the fact that this is an impulsive move. This is now a correction. Even though I was able to show you guys impulse and correction that's within here, but that's what happens. Like there's always impulse and correction, even on what looks to be an impulsive move on a daily. At the 1 hour time frame, you'll find impulse and corrections. So obviously you can see first touch here, second touch here, and third touch here. So this can also be some sort of a, okay, I even saw this now. Okay, left shoulder here, head, and the right shoulder. Okay, so this can also be some sort of a inverse head and shoulders. That's going to be pushed to the upside, maybe up until here, and then go to the downside. But the beautiful thing that I like about this is that even if that does happen, we're not going to take as much loss as if we didn't know. Like, let's say now someone would be like, yes, you do know that it's going to go to the upside, but why don't you sell? Overall, my overall move was to the downside, and so I'll stick to my overall move. But at the same time, I'm opening my mind for possible scenarios and understanding this, that this can also go to the upside. Instead of knowing this knowledge and still risking or losing 1%, one thing that I can do is take this knowledge into my advantage and then lock as much profits or lock as minimum losses as possible, just so I can not lose all of the money that I invested. I can at least lose 0.20%, which is nothing, close to nothing. So even if this does go to the upside, come here, I'll still be able to later on take a short trade somewhere here and now make much more bigger returns, because this is actually going to be a third touch, 1 2 3, and obviously my stops it's not going to be the small, let's say 25 pip. My stop is going to be super nice, and just my first target somewhere here would promise me 8%. So imagine I lost let me just do this, I lost 0.20, but we made, okay, let's see, 8.68. okay, we made 8 point, okay, that wasn't beautiful, but 8.68 ne? We lost 0.10, we made 8.68. So what is actually our target? What is actually our profits? Like if we just minus this, obviously our profits is 8 and 48. Ne? So that's the total profits that we would have came out of with this. And even though it doesn't really mean that like I like, you know, I had to execute in a different way. I had to do, no, it's just me understanding possible scenarios. So I want you actually to also practice understanding possible scenarios. Practice, always look at the markets in different ways, different perspective. Understand why is it doing what it's doing now. Try to understand what is the possible scenario. All these things that you can actually apply in order to just capitalize from it, and use this knowledge to your advantage. Okay. So let me just remove this just to clean up my charts, focus on what's actually currently happening. I like to focus on the current market price, on which it's what's actually happening currently right now as we are speaking. So this is actually what's happening. So once it does break out of here, maybe, okay, let me do this. Okay, once it does break out of here, maybe go to the upside. Maybe I can build some more profits too, because let's say it does break, takes me out of that small loss, then we obviously wait for a correction, and then going to the upside, I can possibly just build small capitals just to as long as if it's a good risk to reward, I wouldn't mind taking it, obviously it's gonna have its own limits and stuff, but even if it's promising me 3% and above, then that's a good trade. I'm willing to take that too. So you need to also be able to open your mind towards these types of trades and stuff, because I can see a lot of times I can just send a signal or just the trade setup to other people, and instead of them using it to their advantage, they let's say I show you something like this, then you're just taking a lot of sales, you sell, and all these types of things. But when it comes to a time whereby you have to implement a different scenario or forecast, then you don't do that, because you didn't analyze that, you don't really know much about that type of a scenario. But this is answer DJPY, and I wanted to show you guys what you can actually do in order to just manage your trading in a much more better manner. I'm glad that you guys actually did see that you actually watched up until this end, which means that you actually got a lot of value and a lot of you took a lot of notes from it. So it means that time goes on, I'll be able to see you guys not only executing trades, being profitable, but also being able to manage these trades, because the most important thing, just being in the trade, that is not really you making profits. The most important thing is how you are in the trade. Just because you open the door doesn't really mean that you are now in that place, in that house that you open the door. But when you walk into that house, when you maneuver through the house, that's what actually matters. So please do just comment below, tell me what it is that you guys think, and tell me also the topics that you want me to be covering in the next near future. But it's a Bailey Samutubi. Thank you so much for watching up until this very end.